out on the mountain with Phil Driggers, not to be confused with Phil Dunphy. Phil Driggers, development tech with Timbersled. Now this is a development guy at Timbersled that's been with Timbersled since it was before Polaris days. So this is the 2021 kit, right?
Yep.
What's this one called?
This is the RIOT S.
Okay, so what's different between the RIOT and the RIOT S?
The RIOT S has a 3-inch lower seat height than the previous RIOT. We lowered the skid shocks and the front spindle, so it's proportionately lowered, so it has a way less intimidating feel.
Yeah. So we just dropped down in the trees and we were riding it, and that lower feel just feels like you're on the ground. So it obviously it's lowering your center of gravity. If you kind of hop around a tree and you get that momentum wanting to carry your weight out and high side you, that's not nearly as noticeable.
Yeah.
Is that just because the center of gravity is lower?
Yeah, the center of gravity is lower, and your whole body mass is all lower. So where it really makes the biggest difference is on hard pack and going slow speeds at hard pack, because that's when you're the most top heavy and it feels like it's going to tip, where it's just you can just put a foot down and you're way closer to the ground.
But in the mountains it feels better.
Yeah, it feels better in the mountains too.
So did that lower the track approach angle?
It did. It's actually more efficient as well because of the approach angle being more gradual. It spools up a little bit faster, just as less rolling resistance. Because you have less sharp of an angle at the bottom of the rail when it's transitioning into the snow. All right. So, and that makes it more suitable for lower horsepower bikes, like maybe even a 250. We shortened the shocks to bring the skid down, or to compress the suspension more, which gave it a better approach angle, less rolling resistance. When we shortened them, we resprung them with heavier weight springs to accommodate for the leverage ratio of the shocks, and revalved them so it's an appropriate suspension package for this skid. And these are Fox 3-position QS3 shocks, so you can still run it on stiff if you're concerned about bottoming out, or you can turn it all the way to soft if you want it to be super plush.
And you can still do the stiff in the front and soft on the back.
You can still put it in RIOT mode, and we didn't sacrifice any of the RIOT mode playfulness with this kit. You can still stand this thing up and turn it around, no problem.
You lowered the spindle, do you know how much? Like about?
Oh, I think it's about an inch and 3/4 lower.
Okay, and that's just kind of equal to the rear, so you're bringing the whole bike down. It's not out of balance or anything.
Yeah.
It's got a really good feel. Like it's surprising. You almost feel more like you can just snake in and out of trees and duck under branches.
You feel more free to move the bike underneath of you, whereas it was kind of a risk to get that wild with it before, because you might go too far and not be able to recover. Yeah,
and those quick turns, you know, where you're going through the trees and you need to quick and build some momentum straight across and then cut up and turn around. Those are easier too.
We lowered it just to make it more suitable for entry-level riders, people that wanted to get into the sport but were intimidated by how much effort it took to ride, and how tall it was, and how you had to be a tall person to ride a snow bike well. And now we're just kind of making it more open for less intense people, you could say.
But there's not really a downside to it.
No, there's not. We're finding that out now.
You compare this to the regular RIOT.
Yeah, I've had, you know, huge people ride it, and they're like, yeah, I like that better than the normal one.
So what advantage does the normal RIOT have?
More suspension travel.
So if you're hitting bumps or you want more of that weight transfer, you can get more out of that on the regular.
Yeah, you'll get more performance type suspension out of the full-size RIOT and the full-size Aero. This was just something where let's just lower it down, let's see what people think about it. And now we're finding that it's more, that everyone likes it.
So ride height wise, the RIOT S compared to the regular RIOT, and also like the Aero 129 or the Aero 3?
So there's an Aero 129 S that we're making as well.
Oh, so that's lower also?
Yeah, and it's the same seat height.
So your drive, your TSS, your install kits, all that is the same?
Everything is the same.
Okay. No updates to the ski aside from the shorter spindle?
Yeah, no updates to the ski, just a spindle that brings everything a little bit lower, closer to the ground.
Okay. Yeah, it's amazing for being lower. Like that's impressive.
We're finding that it's everybody likes it so far. So
all right, cool.
Anything bad.
Cool.